Big up to you,
efficiently.
man.
Good, good. I'm glad to. I can't wait to hear. By the way, hello again, Woody Johnson. Hey, Lord Jeremy. Hey,
Hey,
Dark Blade.
Woody. Oh, whoa. What's up, everybody? Whoa. It's nice to be
Did I
home.
miss anybody? Right. The kind of the home base.
It is. That's why I was trying to say it. I'm like, unless you've been in the position of feeling like the world is a cold place, you don't know what it's like to be on or like in Good Mother Stream. It feels like
Right.
it does. It feels like home base. I'm like, okay, I get it now.
Yeah.
I'm officially a Good Mother simp, 100%.
See,
It's
I don't
it's not
understand that whole simp thing.
because there's different levels to it. So there's
Yeah.
the flamboyant girls that are like, look at my Gucci, and then that's like simp hunting, right? Or like they're like, look at my boobies, and like that's simp hunting. But there's a different
Hey,
thing.
Kush.
If you look at every aspect of a female, right?
Yeah.
Just being nurturing could be simp hunting. Just being nice could be simp hunting. There's like details. I'm just saying like as like a Thoughty McThotterson that's like being sexual and stuff, you're not simp
Yeah.
hunting at all. But when it comes to the feeling that I get from being on your stream and just even talking to you, I feel safe. I feel nurtured. I feel heard. I feel like especially that safe part.
Well,
And
okay.
that's the
And
thing where
and going back to Tony's question that I didn't get to answer, something about feminine, how important is projecting or, promoting femininity. I think women need to listen a lot more than they talk. And I mean, actually listen to what somebody's saying. Like, I feel like not enough women actually pay attention to what people are saying because it's not just the words that are coming out of their mouth, it's the meta communication. It's kind of really, sanely reading between the lines. I mean, crazy bitches can't do that. They have their own convoluted version of, oh, I know what you really mean when you say that. Like, no.
and that's why
No,
I was
but
trying to harp on that of like you don't get it unless you felt the coldness from other places
yeah,
and then you feel like safe and heard and all of these things. It's like what person wouldn't want to feel that way? It's
yeah,
and that's the part where it's like it's very different. That I think is helpful. That I
yeah,
think is what we need more of in society, which is why I was like, it's not what you think. If anything, I have more of the simps that they were talking about. I do
yeah.
get the DMs. Here I make $100,000 a year. Hey, I do that.
See, I get zero
Yeah,
DMs.
I didn't think you got
Like,
those.
I get zero
You
because
guys poems.
no. Crazy bitch autobiography mouth vomit in my comment section doesn't count.
Well, and that's what I was trying to harp on is there's different forms of it if you want to
Yeah,
call it that, but
yeah,
it comes down to like, okay, if you feel safe and secure in one place, you're gonna want to support, you're want to keep up and keep coming back, and you're gonna
yeah,
want to protect it. So it's
yeah,
like that's why I harp on the people that have not just helped me, but like open my mind somehow. I harp on it. I mention you, I mention self, I mention Uncle Guns, I mentioned Conduces, I mentioned Rishi. Those you guys are the people that really have like what's the word? Constructive criticism. And Tony. It's like you challenge my belief systems to make me a better human being.
yeah. If anything, the ones that you guys were talking about that make the comments, I feel like the guys get rid of them because they're like, this isn't the petting zoo. This isn't placed for PUA stuff. Like, fuck off you.
Right. That was oh my god. I'm such a girl right now. So the super chat that Tony got was like someone saying shout out from Alex playing with fire. So I had a debate with him.
Yeah, I don't know why you just don't let the men sort out the men.
Because no one was doing it. There's like a full fledged.
There's plenty of men lining up
Okay, now
to sort him out, but
I'll tell you.
he doesn't want. That's why when I went in there, I was like, this is Chronic's territory. This is not my
Right.
fucking
But
business.
but what's funny, what's interesting, what I have noticed is when a
Mhm.
female does something, there's like a domino effect, right? And so he actually was the by debate, if we actually had actual judges debating, I would have won the debate.
It
because two of
wasn't a
them
debate, it
were.
was an argument. It
I know. But I'm excited. Listen, listen, listen. So, in real world standards, there was a lot of disappointment because you have a man like in reality, like you could say the debate or whatever it was, the argument was just hearsay. She said, he said, she said. But it's like when you admit that you Photoshop your photos to a degree where it's unrealistic. It does not look like you or represent you anymore. And you're saying that out loud as a dating coach. And then on top of that, if you like watch it, he's like bashing on guys who are signing up for his dating coach. It's just to me, I'm like, okay, I may have lost in YouTube standards, but in real world standards, I'm like, yo, yo, now everyone's having a field day. And then he went on Omegle and tried to like prove that he could catch girls, and it just
See, I care about him as much about that as I do your thoughty pictures on Instagram. Like,
see,
I
I
don't.
don't it's just what's interesting is I'm more fascinated in the people that are actively like knowing these things because this is the thing I told you, right? So I took a little hiatus,
Yeah.
been using my creativity brain to like watch things happening in real life, but also trying to figure out, okay, what is it that I want to do? And it's like the guy, there's a lot of men that have been saying it, and I have to agree with it. There's a lot of people signing up for BS instead of handling like showing up for themselves in life. And I'm not even talking about probably YouTubers because I don't even know. It's just if you're signing up for a course that costs more than like $50, that you're essentially, in my mind, you're essentially a part of the issue because you're paying these people an obscene amount. I like
Well, but the real femme sapiens doing the exact same thing.
yeah, and she's a whore too.
Yeah.
She the real femme sapien monkey branch from one husband to another, and she's talking
Yeah.
about hypergamy and how if you want a husband, she can tell you how to get a husband. And it's like, well, you could, if you wrote it truthfully, find a husband that's not what you want, and then divorce him and marry his boss. Like,
I don't have
it,
enough mental capacity. I feel like I focus on way other stuff. Like that's downstream from what I try to focus on.
oh yeah,
I
I'm just
mean,
fascinated with the whole thing because I was like,
yeah.
the people that are I'm trying to understand the people that are signing up for it. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to comprehend what they're thinking.
The men want women. They want women. But it's a biological urge.
I know it's women want men too. It's just
And they hear this guy that's like, "Oh, I banged I don't know how many women," and they're like, "Ooh, I want to be like him," and it's simple.
how do you get them to realize it's not true?
It's not our job.
Oh, fine.
We have our own lane, dude.
That's I did have fun though. I did have a lot of fun. Um
Yeah.
back in my lane, it's I have been looking on how to have these conversations and how to keep going because I was doing women's night and then men's night, right?
Right.
I do see the value in talking to women about the things that men are facing because there's a lot of women that don't know still, and they're like, "Oh wow," but it was becoming very serious. That's what the issue is. My issue with why I like stopped, and because number one is on one side when women come on, it's one thing when you have a panel like Fresh and Fit or something because then the women are receiving something, right? They're getting a lot of followers by going on that show. But I, as a small channel like mine, I still don't have something to offer these women to have them consistently keep coming back. And what I was thinking about was actually talking to women kind of like what Kevin Samuels did, except for not just leaving them high and dry, letting them know you're probably not going to get that kind of guy, but these things are what you could work on and change to become more attractive to men in general. Because what I'm finding, they're a lot like my issues, right? So like I'm keeping my Instagram the same. I've deleted a couple that were too much. I get it. Like I don't want anybody to get in trouble, but keeping it the same so that there's a correlation between me and the women. Um, but prior to that, I still had an issue with not wanting to cover up. If that, yeah, because it's yeah, that's all it is. It's just not wanting to cover up.
Well, and in like, I don't see that you're going to really attract the people that you're looking to attract if you completely try to, you
Be the
know,
yeah, be whatever. Yeah. And that's the thing where I refuse to change who I am based on wanting more followers or likes or
right,
subscribers or liking
right,
people or people
right,
liking me. I would
right,
rather keep it the way I have it, which is an organic change. I'm treating myself different. I'm being different just in general, and it's good. Um, but how can I translate that to women, right?
right.
Because women at the same and this is another part of my journey where I'm saying like I'm being transparent in all of it, right? Because
Yeah.
I'm thinking about how I'm gonna have these conversations with women and how their brains are gonna be thinking, which is gonna be a lot like mine. And in some aspects, especially when it comes to the changing part, what I realized in the if you look at the last like 5 or 6, not even, like, the last, like, 2 months or last month of streaming, I realized I'm looking at myself and I'm like, "Dude, I haven't done my eyebrows. I haven't taken care of myself. I haven't been doing my hair." I've been letting myself go. And I can't say that it didn't have to do with the comments that were being said. And so I stopped and I took a break and I started taking care of myself. I didn't dress revealing, but I dressed form fitting and I felt better about myself. I didn't even leave my house. I didn't go anywhere. I was just
Right.
dressing better for myself. I started wearing makeup and not too much, just taking care of doing the skincare, the girl stuff, right?
Yeah.
And it was like this moment of like, oh, I feel different. This is a thing for women. When we do take care of ourselves, we
Mhm.
do feel better. And it's not just like it's actually the complete opposite of what the feminism was saying to be strong and do all the inside stuff. I'm not, be strong, sure, but for your family or for all the right reasons, not for all this stupid stuff.
Well,
But
like that list, Michael Foster said, women should be pretty.
right,
Like,
right, right,
like
right,
taking care of yourself. Like,
right.
like for me, it seriously takes 5 minutes to curl my hair because that's my profession for one,
God, you're
and
so
I could put in curls,
for
and they
5 minutes.
last like 5 minutes, and they last for like 3 days. So depending on which day it is, it
Hold
kind of
on,
takes
hold
on a
on, hold
different shape.
on, hold on, hold on. I know the guy audience is not going to care about this and they're going to not understand this. It takes you 5
five
minutes.
minutes.
I'm going
Yeah.
to cry. Oh my God, I'm going to fucking cry. Holy crap.
I can show you a technique off behind the
Please,
scene.
please,
Yeah,
because
I can.
I have damn near close to black people hair. There's a lot of it and it's thick and there's a lot there is a lot. It takes I don't do my hair because it takes so much time, at least an
Yeah.
hour to do my
You
oh.
don't. I don't think you have a good hairstylist.
I don't have a hairstylist. I do my
Oh.
hair. I can't go to the salon because it would take me 4 hours to get my hair done.
Anyway,
4
we
hours.
digress.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Yeah. Yeah.
gosh. Anyways, my whole point
No,
is
no, but yeah, the whole women should be taking care of themselves.
right, and you can't do that and I'm telling you because I've experienced it. When I'm
Yeah.
doing good in my work, I'm missing one area of my life, whether it's a good girlfriend or a good friend or a good
Yeah.
whatever, right? And anyway, so I went through this little journey and then I was like, wow, I feel better. And then I felt more, and this is going to be a little inappropriate, but a little weird. I'm prefacing it because it goes into what I'm going to do with women. And I felt more sensual. I felt more like I'm woman, like not hear me roar, but like, damn, okay. And I was like, okay, so how can I have this conversation with women and understanding that? Because it is a very real thing that we feel. And that is the big excuse as to why women dress provocatively. There's a balance between dressing and feeling sensual and being a 304. There's a very big difference. And the only difference I can find is the less revealing. You can still be form fitting, but it's less revealing. And in fact, guys do what I'm noticing now in this era that we're in, higher caliber men are noticing women that are covered up more than anything else. And so that's kind of what I'm going to be leading with when these women, they're saying like, I want this, I want that, I want that, but they're dressing like the way it was on my Instagram. It's like, okay, but you do realize when we sit here and we think, I want this kind of a man, if he's that successful, he's waking up at 6 or 7 in the morning. If he's that like Also, if he's that successful, he's probably hadn't had a home cooked meal in a long time. So if you don't know how to cook, that's another point you're going to dock down. If you there's all these little things that as women we're having all these expectations of these men of what we're looking for. Now I ask you, what is it that you bring to the table? Because that kind of man is going to be wanting a home cooked meal once in a while. Do you know how to cook? That kind of man isn't going to be okay with you revealing any sort of midriff at a business party. Are you going to be able and capable and okay with dressing not just not provocatively but classy and representing him in that manner? Are you so that's where I'm kind of like going to start going into it with them, because a lot of women don't hear these things and they don't think about these things. And I started finding women that I like, that I really really like on like social media and stuff. And there's one girl that she's um married to a Middle Eastern man, and they are, what is it called when you Muslim. And when she goes to the gym, she's like covered up completely. She's layered, but she's still covered up. And like she's, if even if she's wearing like a crop top outfit, there's a one piece underneath that's still shielding her, right? And this woman is like doing like arm lifts and all sorts of crazy things, but she's covered up. And I started finding more content creators like that that were doesn't I don't care about the religion or any of that aspect, but I do care about how they're conducting themselves and how they're treating themselves. And I'm trying to find the medium on how to communicate to the ladies in the West of like how to want that for themselves. Because the issue that I'm finding is that with more and more people that put that on them, they close up like a little crab, right? The how can I entice these women to want these things? And the only thing that I can keep going back to is fundamentally women still want men. They do. And there's a lot of lonely women. And I'm looking at, instead of looking the way that I've been looking at it of like, oh, dating sucks here. It's like, okay, if dating sucks for me, how many women in LA are having this hard of a time too? And how many of them are still doing things that they don't realize are hindering them and hurting them? And how many of them are talking to younger women about the things that they messed up on in their lives, whatever they want to call it, they themselves, instead of someone harping on, you did this, you did that, you did this. It's how can we maneuver so that we can highlight it, make an appropriate suggestion, and then make a change and see it as a positive thing that you want because you want this other thing over here. So that's what it's my big project. Ta-da!
You got a lot on your plate there.
Yeah, but
Yeah, it's a lot of gymnastics to try to figure out.
yeah, but it's nice to have fun with it again, because for a little bit I was getting real dry. I really, really was. That's why, like, it's not even the coffee or the red. I've had one coffee today and I'm like a crackhead. I'm like, hey, I'm excited again. Ah, that's about it. That's the only news I have.
Lord Jeremy. He said men are highly territorial and extremely protective of our property and our family.
Yeah.
We are keyed to fight off lions and wolves, the bands and raiders. If your woman is provocative, instant nope.
Well, and here's the fascinating part. Most of the women that are dressing provocative, when asked about being in a relationship or liking someone, is also just as territorial. I'm not sure if a lot of guys know this or not, but women are definitely very territorial as well. But that's the issue, where the way that I would communicate this, again, let's say we had women here and they'd be like, no, but blah, 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 right? Okay. So what do you think if your boyfriend were to go around town and flirt with every girl that he meets? And women are going to have a backlash. They're going to be like, no, that's not flirting. And I'm not flirting with anyone. Just by showing you are you are flirting, whether you're intentionally doing it or not. That's the way the brain of a man says, oh, available.
They're intentionally trying to draw a sexual type of attention to themselves when they dress provocatively.
Right. But these women, and this is where I come in to explain to you guys, a lot of these women do not understand that. In their mind, I am woman, hear me roar. In their mind, you can't tell me what to do. In their mind, this is freedom and liberation. So that's why I can't go into it that way. I have to go into it with, what do you want? I know you want that. That, what you think is liberation and freedom and all these things, is preventing you from that. See how the dialogue is going to be so much more different? I'm really excited. I just need to find women now. And I think I'm going to go on I'm going to go on Craigslist and Tinder.
You're gonna have to date them.
No,
By
I'm
the
just
way,
like,
hello, Absolute and Slane. Slane, good to see you. Glad to see you're still alive. He actually lives in your state, so
no way.
whenever he pops up, I'm like, oh yeah, he hasn't been consumed by the woke.
Yeah, thank goodness.
Yeah,
Men sort
yeah.
out men can be sort of, yeah. I'm just looking at the chat too. I had it frozen for some reason.
Yeah.
Well, and here's another thing too, right?
Mhm.
So I know that there's a lot of MGTOWs that don't like passport bros, but what I found was the most fascinating thing in the, oh God, let me see if I can find it, because I found a whole genre. Good mother. I went down a rabbit hole of a whole genre. And
What?
I want to see if I can find it to just play it, because the women will have a field day with this. And I know
About the women that are trying to get the FBI to revoke passports. I saw that.
even better.
Okay.
This.
Well, because I also have something to show you,
Ooh, show me.
and this is going to be kind of your lane, because
Oh wow.
these are the kind of feminists that are top on my list right here. And I want to show you a little clip and kind of break down what we're dealing with in our society, because this is a lot. This is a lot of young women who have these older women leading them in the wrong direction.
In a freaking downhole. Wow.
Yeah. So I'm going to play this, and I might stop it and point some stuff out. Maybe I'll play it once through, and then maybe we can dissect it the second time. But this is ridiculous.
I hope you guys have a good day.
This is my city. What are you doing here? You're trying to antagonize people, so go the fuck away. Go the fuck away. Go the fuck away. It's simple. Go the fuck away.
She's
Go
so
home.
Why don't we just let her get raped right now and forced to have a mother?
That'd be great.
I would carry full term. Yeah,
Go.
sure you would. And you'd be traumatized for life.
She's traumatized already.
I'm not the one who
Yeah,
looks
you can go.
traumatized here.
You can go.
You're right.
You can go.
We're a little old.
We're gonna stay together. We're gonna stay together the rest of the day.
How would you say you're for women, but then
We're
tell
gonna
women
stay
she should
together.
get raped?
Shut the fuck up, bitch.
How would you?
Why are you antagonizing people? Why are you
I have
antagonizing
video
people?
evidence of
Why are you antagonizing people?
that. Is disgusting.
No, she's
Come with your elders. Come with your elders, please. We've been fighting for this for 50 years.
She's so young. I hope you guys have a good day.
Yeah,
This is my city. What are you doing here? You're trying to antagonize people, so go the fuck away. Go the fuck away.
Look at that young girl. That is a young, mentally ill
and this is my issue.
girl.
It's not even just, why is her hair like that?
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
It's super greasy and stringy, and no,
I'm such a
she's
girl.
mess.
I'm like, why is her hair like that?
Hello, Adil. Good to see you too. It's been a while. Actually, Adil, if you have time after me and Minka catch up, I have some university stuff that you might be interested in if you want to participate in that conversation. But back to this crazy bitch, and the crazy bitch that is coddling and supporting this disgusting behavior.
Yeah, and that's, well, it's not coddling, it's creating and cultivating and
Yes.
protecting and influencing, like and that's why I keep saying these things. Is this is essentially the same thing when I say that the women that have been doing OnlyFans and all of that stuff and normalizing it are essentially these older women and these young girls that are just fresh out of high school thinking, oh, it's not porn, it's OnlyFans, because of what the older generation is saying are the one. It's just the same thing. It's like they're teaching and creating bad and poor behavior. It's not at the end. The worst part is at the end of the day, it doesn't hurt anyone but that poor girl.
Yeah.
That's what hurts the most.
Right. And I was thinking about this earlier. Like, these feminists, like, they totally hate men. But I think you can make an argument that they actually hate women too. Like, I mean, to lie to young women like that, just to keep them, just to be able to mother them and keep them close.
It's and this is the part where it's confusing, right?
Yeah.
Because we're having these mainstream conversations and it becomes mainstream, but it wasn't to begin with. And it's the same on and this is part of the stuff I've been researching a crap ton, right?
Yeah.
And it's not real. None of these things are, I mean, like it's so here's the problem. From what I've researched, the feminist movement was created from, let's say, 10% of women were raped, assaulted, all these things, wanted to work and couldn't, whatever. So they had 10% of women that actually felt this way. And the narrative became women are suppressed, women are being this, women are being that, women are blah, 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 blah. And so all women banded together and conquered, right? They essentially raped and pillaged.
They did rape and pillage.
Right.
Themselves. Like, yeah.
Right. So now we're in an era where the same thing is happening. The statistics show that it's only 10% of people that are getting divorced currently and for the past like 2 years. So if only 10% are going to divorce and in that category essentially, and we'll say the same thing happened. Now the narrative is this is how you need to be and hate and blah, 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 all right? So, and it just bear with me because it's based on research. But that also becomes the main narrative, right? And what I found is that while women were on the offense when it was their narrative, men are on the defense. You don't have these issues of look at her Instagram, look at what she's wearing, blah, 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 until you come into this space, right? Until I came to the manosphere and I was like, hello, world. No one gave a crap. But I myself chose to come here, and that's what happened. But you don't see this happening where men are just gallivanting around and commenting on random girls. You look like a 304. Hey, I don't like you. Nobody likes. Men are not they're not on the offense. Does that make sense? Do you follow me so far? So women's feminist movement, offense. Men's manosphere stuff, defense. They're taking passports. They're going their own way. They're doing red pill. They're converting religions. Everything is defense. They're not like attacking. They're just like, we just want to be happy.
Yes.
So right now what I'm seeing is that it's still in the ball's still in the women's court, because if if these things don't change, more women are going to start responding to Allah Akbar from Afghanistan sliding into Facebook DMs. That's the narrative that I see this going into, where women think that there's still a vast majority of women that think that they're still right in these narratives and these thoughts and these ideals and being on the offense, and they're going to be led down a dark hole of being completely alone and most women being alone. That's the it did I mean it doesn't none of this.
No, that's what I'm trying to point out with this. These feminists get these young women to come join their cult because, one, they didn't have children, and two, they want to mother other people's children that are women.
That's what everyone's getting wrong.
Yes. That's why they keep brainwashing these young women into, like, they fearmonger. Like right. Look at the girl's face when she's fucking yelling at this chick. Like, she's terrified. She's seriously mentally ill. She thinks what she's doing is right, for one. And then she has these two old ass feminists encouraging her, oh, here, come with us. We won't leave you alone. Like, that is not a young individual. That is a little zombie. That is a little feminist cult member. Like, those women did that to her.
Right. And that's the thing where she believes that these things are real. But
right.
Again, it's the narrative right now is so strong of like, this is how it is. I need more leeway. I'll say this, like my biggest issue currently is, okay, I get these girls to my channel. We start doing the conversation, the chat's calling them roasting like no other, right? I need to have some, like, unless I'm going to pay them to be on the panel consistently, like I need to have something to offer them if they're going to go through with this every time. That's the part where I'm kind of like, okay, what do I got to do here? But at the same time, there's a lot of things that men go through. I can hear all the stories. I can talk about it. I can read about it. I can research it. I am not a man. I will never be able to actually speak for men ever. All I can do is kind of translate to the women. But if I'm having a conversation, if the other issue is if I only have women on there, I'm going to miss a lot of the things that the men are wishing that was said. Like, for example, we have the somewhat dialogue of these women, right? I'm sure there's a lot of men that have had experiences with this kind of women that could give different backgrounds and scenarios and aspects that I haven't gone through with these women because I stay away from them. Because I don't have to talk to them at all.
Right? Not the super crazy one. By the way, hello Johnny Midnight and JR.
Hey guys.
Yeah, Adele, disband the university. That'll solve 80% of your problems. I know. Well, and what I want to get to later with Texas A&M looks pretty promising.
Yeah. I think I will say this though, what I've seen a lot is not just in YouTube land, but in generally speaking everywhere, is that I feel like more and more secrets are coming out, more and more hidden skeletons and stuff.
Yeah.
People seem to be hot topics as of late, which I find really good timing.
Like what? Like
just all across the board. It's not just like in our little sector or with my friend group. It's just all across the board. I mean, the stuff with the Biden documents that he took home and his son, everything's being really like highlighted and exposed, but the mainstream media is not catching it. But a lot of people are talking about it. You got the Tate guys. Somehow they got released from prison or jail and then left Romania, which does beg the question, if they were able to leave, then how solid is this story and this narrative that you guys are talking about them? Then there's I mean, again, like I said, it's not just on a little sector of like the stuff, it's also on the mainstream. I'm noticing a lot of people getting called out for not necessarily good behavior or just things are getting exposed.
Good.
Yeah. I'm excited for it. I'm here for it. I'm like, let's go. The worst I have are my thoughty pictures on Instagram.
Listen to this, though. Something I want to point out that is very specific about this little encounter.
Go the fuck away. It's simple. Go the fuck away.
She's so
Go home.
Why don't we just let her get pregnant and forced to have a baby?
That'd be great.
I would carry full term. Yeah,
Go.
sure you would. And you'd be traumatized for life.
She's traumatized already.
She already is.
I'm not the one who looks
You can go.
traumatized here.
You can go.
You're right.
You can go.
Right?
We're gonna stay together. We're gonna stay together the rest of the day.
How would you say you're for women, but then
We're
tell
gonna
women
stay
she should
together.
get raped?
Shut the fuck up, bitch.
How would you?
Why are you antagonizing people? Why are you
I
antagonizing
have video
people?
evidence of
Why are you antagonizing people?
that. That is disgusting.
No, she's
Come with your elders. Come with your elders, please. We've been fighting for this for 50 years.
Come with your elders, please. We've been fighting this for 50 years.
That's called manipulation. Come with your elders. We're trustworthy. We've been fighting for this for 50 years, telling you my
Right.
mom need to include you in what that the fight is so important. It's been going on for 50 years. It's
Right.
just stupid. And it's, you know what's crazy? That's why I asked the question earlier. I'm like, you really think men are waking up to the manipulation tactics of women? Because it doesn't like
I know.
this. Because and it's not, it doesn't make women bad necessarily. It's just how we were created, the same way that men are more logical and less emotional than us, right? They're able to make quick, decisive decisions because they are built that way. We're able to be more nurturing and feely, goody or whatever, because we were built that way. That I guarantee you, this woman isn't consciously saying these things to manipulate. It's intuitive.
No, she's trying to consciously manipulate.
I don't know. I feel like more women are intuitive with their manipulation. I only say that because I keep seeing things and I'm like, damn, that was a form of manipulation. Damn, that was a form of like simp hunting. Damn, that was like it's weird. It's like I thought I was just
No. Those old ass crazy bitches right there know exactly what they're doing. They need those young ones, and that's kind of what I wanted to get in.
I see what you're saying.
These
You're saying that
Davos,
them themselves are doing it on purpose.
they are doing it on purpose. They're instrumentalizing that young mess. She's a mess.
Right.
Like, and the chicks at the Davos, man, I sat through all of them. I thought about doing a breakdown, taking some timestamps and trying to point out some really specific things that they were talking about, because they're talking about their future plans. And these are women that have gathered into the World Economic Forum or whatever. And these are, big CEOs and like Fortune 500 companies. I mean, there's women talking about how insurance companies aren't paying enough for IVF treatments. That they're trying to push insurance companies to start picking up more of that tab. They are a little disappointed that not enough women are taking these opportunities that these older feminists have opened up for them. So they're going to start hitting hard. The middle schools, the high schools, like
they've been doing it. That's the
problem. I
It's-
know. And it's not enough. It's not enough for them until they have women running everything.
I'm telling you, women don't want to run everything. It's exhausting.
These feminists do.
I know, but what I'm saying is, look, I have my Airbnb, I have my marketing agency, I'm doing the podcast thing. I'm exhausted. I'm telling you, if I feel this way, that means that at least a bare minimum of 10% of women that are also working like men are exhausted and don't want to do it. If I could reach that 10, you just need 10%. If you could do the feminist movement off of 10%, you can move this off of 10%. I'm telling you. I'm just saying. I don't think it's exhausting, because think about it this way, right? If a man is doing stuff in regards to work and he's thinking logically and he's thinking with his brain, he may be stressed out, he may be dealing with it, but he'll still like be like, all right, that's the best decision for this. All right, I'm out of my brain, gone, right? For the most part, that's pretty much how men's brains work. They're pretty simple. As women, that's a decision. That's the best logical decision. Let's go that way. All right, let's go. Bye. So was that the best decision? Let me focus on this. Was that the best decision? Let me focus. We think we're emotional. As logical as I am, I'm still emotional. I will still reconsider things. I will still work on things. So on an emotional level, women are working harder in that sense, not in like actually working, just overthinking, right? That's just a practical deduction you can make, because women have a lot of emotions. You can deduce that women that are in higher paying positions and working this way also are probably overexerting themselves emotionally. And if that is potentially, possibly the case,
Mhm.
I'm gonna be reaching them at a moment where they're like, oh, I'm done. And I've been talking to them, and a lot of them are like that. They're saying, like, I'm exhausted. If I could hand this over to someone, I would. And I guarantee you in the next 3 months, you're going to hear a lot of that because we're going into 2023. Women have been hearing all the things they've been doing wrong. And if they're a good woman, they'll actually say it's pretty reasonable. Aside from like the trolling stuff, it's pretty reasonable. Did you see my private chat?
No.
I have to step away just for a moment. Do you mind if I step away for 5 minutes?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, thank you. I'm so sorry. Let me go.
All right.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna find these women that don't want to work anymore, but change them. Like hip. Let's do these tricks, ho.
I'm less concerned about changing individuals as I am about changing policies, because policies is where we are now.
Right, but we need more people to change those policies. So what I'm trying to do is do that side, and then I'm gonna throw them your way.
Okay.
Okay, I'll be right back.
And yes, pooping while standing. I like your question. Where is it? Good mother. If you didn't have a son who has dealt with all these crazy bitches, do you think you'd have the same focus? I would, actually. Yeah. My upbringing and my situation with my mother, and the issues that I have to this day with her continuing to destroy my entire family. Like my son being in the picture wouldn't have changed any of that. So I would still be focused on why my mother was allowed to get away with what she was, and what a lot of women are allowed to get away with in our society. So, yeah, because it's not uncommon. It's not as uncommon as I grew up thinking it was. So, by the way, hello, Contriver. I see you're dropping off some stuff. What's up?
Sorry for coming uninvited, ma.
Yeah. Is that stuff you want to discuss after?
Oh, surely.
Okay. Because after my Texas A&M University stuff that I want to go over. After me and Minka has a limited time tonight, so she said she could be on for about an hour, and it's already been 40 minutes. So
I'm here only for 10 minutes, so I'm not going to distract you people or disturb the flow of the conversation.
okay, I appreciate it. You say men are simple, philosophers, and well, Contriver, while you're up
Yes,
here,
yes.
I have not been able to look at all the stuff you sent in the Discord.
It's fine, it's fine.
Okay.
Well, now you know we have talked about this.
By the way, hello, Jason. Yeah, when you're not afraid, you're at peace. I agree with that.
Exactly.
Contriver, what do you think about this crazy nonsense in this video? Did you get to see it?
Yes, let her get raped because she's pro-life. Abortion activist was saying. I mean,
Yeah.
the biggest thing, the biggest boogeyman is that they tell others, let her get raped. I mean, rape has been, I think, normalized. In a way, I would tell you how. In my country, with marital rape and everything going on regarding that, and
Mm-hmm.
Supreme Court proceedings, and Supreme Court is hell-bent on declaring marital rape as the very same rape that has been defined as rape in the Indian Penal Code under the category of rape itself.
Hmm.
So what they have done is, what rape used to be is uh, 4 to 5 men actually kidnapping a girl from the streets or somewhere, moving to a secluded location, and then gang raping her, and then actually murdering her or disposing of the body afterwards, or something like that. Now they have actually extrapolated and extended the definition of rape itself. So now in India, and don't hold your breath when I'm telling you this, I could show you the section under which, if you look at a woman for more than 14 seconds, 14 seconds, it would be considered as sexual harassment.
Right. I think they recently passed something like that in the UK too.
Exactly. So we have the same English common law in all the four countries or five countries: India, Australia, Canada, US, and UK. So, being your transatlantic cousins, they are also, introducing no fault divorce in UK. They have already done that, and
Mm.
adultery has been decriminalized. So, yes, it could be a grounds for divorce, but adultery, which was earlier scoffed at, it was earlier, frowned upon. It is not frowned upon today. So that
Mm.
is why women could get away with adventurism. In India, adultery has been decriminalized by this Harvard University alumni Chief Justice of India, who goes by the name Justice D.Y. Chandrachud. His father was also the Chief Justice of India. Dynasty, I mean, in politics, in bureaucracy, in judiciary, whatever, India
Mm.
is up for sale. So India is done and dusted with. It is just that you people don't see that, uh, you know uh, formulating into statistics that would be necessary for the people to tell.
Right.
But otherwise, and I think the government also fudges up the numbers because of their own benefit, and every government does that. It is not that Indian government is somehow holier than thou. It is not. And the same with the US government. Remember that 1 out of 5 women who were violently abused in America, it was actually 1 out of 93.
Mm-hmm.
1 out of 93. Then, and that statement also was made by a director general of police in some
Right.
Orange County or some state or somewhere. I hardly remember that. I'm forgetting the name of this province. But he said that, and that was taken at face value, just like the gender pay gap, because the
Right.
woman working in the United Nations wanted to prove something. She made up a lie that a woman makes 75 cents to a dollar, which a man makes.
Mm-hmm.
And then the entire premise of this gender pay gap myth that was created, this whole mythification that was propounded upon, was done with the help of that false claim made by that United Nations personnel who
Right.
happened to be a woman.
Right.
And this is why I have uh, no love lost for the government, the bureaucracy, as well as the statistics, because they just want to. This is what is 1984. This is the
Right.
police state that we are living in.
Yeah.
And Animal Farm is a reality, I would say. Because even if a woman who is standing up for pro life, I you know, Milo Yiannopoulos used to text me back on Twitter back in the day when I was very active. And these were the days when I used to talk to all these Republicans and conservatives, Karen Straughns of the world,
Yeah.
and used to see. I mean, my friends were covering the war in Syria as a former strategic affairs observer. So I had quite a good reach. But ultimately, what happened was I came to note that whether it is Breitbart, whether it is that jolly good old chap, what is his name, Bill O'Reilly, or all these other people, they are just there Oh, hello. Minka is
Hi,
here.
hi, unwanted
Hi.
contriver. Nice to see you. Hear you.
Nice to see you too. It is just that I have to ask for an apology from you because you are not even reading my DMs.
Oh, I'm sorry. I haven't been around. That's what I was
Oh,
trying to
it's fine.
say. Yeah, I haven't been streaming. I haven't been around. I've been doing research and going down rabbit holes. But I'm
Oh,
back.
wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
So I'll look
Okay.
at your DMs. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it's fine. It's fine. I just wanted to pull your leg regarding that. So that is
As you
why I
should.
said that. It's
As you
fine.
should.
It's fine. Uh, but see the irony, because even if a woman, well, first of all, the ragers are going to say, you are lying. But even if a woman is trying to protest for Texas A&M University or elsewhere, which that director is doing a very phenomenal job, I would
Hmm.
commend her. She has more guts than a man who is actually taking up the mantle and doing the heavy lifting for cleaning up the mess in Texas A&M University regarding that DII, diversity, inclusive, equity.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to read a subject called Law of Equity when I was in Alberta State University. And the subject was basically about redistribution of income and resources.
Hmm.
Where have I read that before? Karl
Did,
Marx.
didn't Marx write something about that? Yeah, well,
Yes.
that's the thing. The feminists
Yes, but
use that.
exactly. So they have been able to, they had that, they were far thinking. So they included that, inculcated the law of equity by a different name,
Yeah,
a Marxist principle, into the legal course
right,
of an individual who has to pass the British Accreditation Register bar exam
right.
and get the card and license to
Well,
practice in a court.
okay, Contriver. I wanna go into this later, if you're available, because I do have, because that's something that they did mention on the faculty senate stream, something about accreditation and how that is going to somehow impact. I don't know. I want to save that for later, though. I feel like that would be your lane. Do you have time later to come back?
I mean, 5 years, sorry, 5 hours, 4 hours later, I would be available because
Okay.
I'm going to office right now.
Okay.
So
Well,
4 hours
maybe.
later, I would be
Okay.
there.
Well, maybe we can reschedule it for later then, because I kind of want to go over it with you. Maybe you can view my dissection of it, and then we can pick up later on
So,
your
so,
thoughts.
so if you are available 4 hours later, I would do a separate stream with you.
Okay.
We can do that.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay. So
Yeah.
5 hours, 4 hours later, I
Okay.
would be there. Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
All right. Bye,
Contrive.
Take
contriver.
care.
You.
And please discuss the two.
Actually, hold on. But
Yeah.
before you go, I need to run to the ladies' room, and I'll be right back.
Cool. We'll
Oh, come
discuss the
on.
percentage of
Okay.
divorce rate because
One is going and one is
Yeah,
coming.
that divorce rate statistic.
everyone's
Also, the
look at
rape statistic. I don't buy that. 1 in 5 women get raped bullshit. I don't buy it. So,
I
It
oh,
do.
is one out of
I know
93.
you
We'll
do.
talk
I
about
know
it when you
you
get back.
do.
We'll talk
But
about that one when you get back. But okay, so this is for the chat because I'm
by
reading
the way,
the
hello, bullets.
bullets is here.
Yeah,
I'm
and
reading. Oh, go
hold
ahead.
on. One more person came in with bullets. Oh shit! Who came in with bullets? Somebody else came in with bullets. I will say when I get back.
Okay, so okay, where did you get the divorce rate, Minka, of 10% divorce? So if you actually like just research anywhere, really, it's all over the place. And this happened because of COVID too, though. So we do have to give due credit where it's due. Um, since 2019, it's been a record low since 2019. So it's 2019, 20, 21, 22, and we're now in 23. But for every 1,000 marriages, it was 14.9. There's another study that shows 14%. There's another study that shows divorce rate in 2022 was 2.3 per every 1,000, which has declined in previous decades, especially between 1960 and 1990. Contrary to experts' predictions, the divorce rate in America fell by 12% during the COVID pandemic. It's literally everywhere. Edu, gov.com, everywhere. So you can actually read this. But again, it's being giving the credit where it's due. It's because of the whole COVID crisis, which we'll probably see also due to the recession and the layoffs, which is someone else commented that too. It's just all I'm saying is I don't care that it's 10% because it's such, regardless of the divorce rate. Oh, hello. Oh, uh-oh. There's a lot of, okay. Oh, hello. Oh,
Yes,
oh, there we go. Rising number
I'm
of
the
single.
only one.
Oh, sorry. I was looking at the window. I was confused.
Yes. Okay.
I'm confused. I'm okay.
Why
Single.
rising number of single men is a matter of worry. Just like they say, one out of four homeless people individuals is a woman.
Uh-huh.
That is how. Let us read this. While being single offers a lot of advantages in terms of personal freedom, basically minimalism, a new Pew Research Center. Now, Pew is accredited as one of the good sampling survey statisticians all over the world, and I do regard them. In this survey, the
Mm-hmm.
full story is that basically it is a sob story written
Mm-hmm.
because I had health insurance and a spouse that had an income. We could always pay our bills. We were not rolling in money, but that was a privilege. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, what they are saying is men being able to pay for a woman and her expenses out of his pocket is something which the entire society is standing upon. If
Mm-hmm.
that crumbles,
Mm-hmm.
that is how the society would crumble, like a house of cards.
Right, but what does that have to do with the 10% marriages being divorced? I'm confused.
No, no, no. I just wanted to show a follow up of what has happened in the advent of feminism, and what about the 10% marriages you are saying about? Is that the divorce rate has lowered? Well, because the marriages have also lowered in the first instance. Because earlier, how many couples, 8 out of 10 or somewhat, were married? Now, how many are married? We have to take that into account as well.
Are you saying that you're trying to say that the correlation between the lower divorce rate has to do with the lower rate in which people are getting married?
Your marriage rate, exactly.
Right. Right, but so okay, so let me backtrack here real quick. When I read the entire study that was done, it indicates that people are taking longer to get married, but the divorce rate is a lot lower because people are taking their time in finding a partner. So any which way you look at it, it's still okay. So people are not choosing stupidly and they're getting married less. And again, we already know all the rules and regulations against men when they do get married if it doesn't work out, right? So, and I can agree with you and I can understand it. What I'd like to see, not really, because even it still says like it's prior to 2019. So even let me try and see something, a correlation real quick.
I'm gonna need you to cite your sources, Minka.
Yeah. So the first one I cited, I said it's everywhere. Single. What I want to see is
I really
Okay, so I have got from your Senate. Can I share the screen? Just a
Hmm?
second. Uh, is it okay?
Hmm?
Okay. So this is from Joint Economic Committee, Republicans, Senator, United States Congress Joint Economic Committee. And this is from 2020, 3 years ago, but this is basically what it is. What it is. US marriage rates hit new recorded low. Data released April 29th, 2020,
Hmm.
according to latest data from the National Center for Health Statistics. So the
Hmm.
reference and citations are important. Marriage rates hit an all-time low in 2018. The most recently recorded here, the national marriages fell from 6.9 to 6.5 marriages per 1,000 people from 2017 to 2018. The dip was the first noticeable change in a fairly stable trend over the past decade, following a long decline in the mid 1980s. As recently as 2001, the national rate was 8.2 marriages per 1,000 people. And this is the graph that they are showing.
So with that, again, we can go down the rabbit hole if you want to, but I just see it as a waste of time. But I'll tell you this. Hold on.
Because I know there was a huge spike in divorce because of the virus.
So I see okay, let's look at the graph really quick. So 1950, 16, okay, so marriage rate per 1,000, 16 out of 1,000. So it just went above, let's say 17 out of every 1,000 in 1950 were married. Is that what this graph says? I can't see. You need,
Is it visible now?
no, you need to scroll down. No, you
Okay.
need to make it smaller. It's the word. There you go.
Oh,
Word.
I have to make it smaller.
Okay, so
Yes.
wait,
Is
no,
it visible now?
there you go. Marriage rate. That's what I was trying to read. So it is the marriage rate. 17% in 1950, 1975 it was 10%, and let's look around there. Yeah, and then it's down in the 2000s. It's gone down, right? So we see this graph, and it clearly indicates that marriage has gone down, right?
Yes.
So I just shared another source with you, and this is another rabbit hole I went down. As the rate for marriage goes down, the rate for cohabitation goes up. You can look this up too. It's like it says that it was at 58% in 1995 for the marriage rate, and it went down to 53%. But those it's like 7 points are accounted for the increase in cohabitation.
I
Meaning
have
they
a
opted
caveat.
meaning they opted for cohabitation instead of getting married. So no marriage license.
Oh, yes, I agree with that because the cohabitation ultimately two people are actually who actually want to, cohabitate are going to cohabitate, but there is a caveat to that as well.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. So
When
even with this, if you add the cohabitation, the rate is still the same of people getting together. And which case, if we click on all the links and we show all this documentation, it still shows that even with the rate of people getting together, not just either getting married or cohabitating, but both, the rate of divorce has still gone down significantly, the lowest it's been in 50 years. So
Well, if you're adding cohabitation
ah,
to
ah.
that rate, you're going to come up with a skewed.
But that's why I'm saying we don't even need to go around the rabbit hole because it really doesn't matter. All I'm saying is even if all this stuff was hypothetically true, where we currently are is the ball is still in the women's court. The
Yeah.
women still have the advantage of where this is going to go. That's
And women today, with the laws the way they are, Minka, they don't even need to get married.
not
They
as
can be,
right.
what is it called when you live with? I mean, every state is different, and even in different countries, it's different. Like you can still literally take half a man's stuff, and
Just from cohabitating, you can do
just
that.
from cohabitating.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's but that's why I'm saying, even with
in
all
in
I'm
English common
debunking.
law, in English
I'm
common law,
I know, but let me just say this. I'm debunking this whole fallacy of the marriage rates and this. The bottom line is if women don't get their shit together, they're gonna lose the men. That's the bottom line. If you were able to catch one and you're married, praise you. I'm so happy for you. But if you don't get your shit together, the men are already leaving. Again, like I said earlier, women were on the offensive, men were on the defensive. All that I've seen the men do, other than the guys that are pissy and want to say I'm a 304, is talk about the solution that they found. Passport
yeah,
bro went to another country. Men going their own way have peace and sanity. Red pillars live the life the way that they want it. They've made it the way that they want it. If you agree with it, cool, you can say. If you don't agree with it, kick rocks. Black pillars, you can say it's nihilistic, but they have the absolute truth and they move accordingly with the absolute truth. There's some people with like they come from incel, but they have autism and they see it's okay to like get leg lengthening surgery. All right, go have at it. I'm just saying men are on the defense and moving their own way and finding their happiness with all this,
yeah.
whereas women were on the offense. And if they continue to be on the offense, they're going to lose and they're not even realizing that they're losing. That's why I'm saying the statistics, none of this crap matters. It really doesn't.
Right.
All you have to do is ask a woman,
Minka,
ask the woman that is like me. Ask the woman that is gung ho. Ask the woman that's a CEO. Ask the woman that's a stripper. Ask the woman that has 5 kids with no dad. You ask her, hey, are you lonely? Do you wish you had a husband? And the answer is the same every time.
Mhm.
Every time. Once in a while, I get a girl that's like, no, I hate men. But that's like, what? 1 out of every 20? Like, I'm telling you, none of these stats matter. The stats matter for the guys. You guys want to harp on them and prove your point? You've proved it. Women are hearing this. They have no hole or rock to hide under. The facts are facts.
Right.
I'm just saying at this point, we've already used it. Women, you got to get your shit together. If you don't get it, if you don't, it's because,
Minka,
oh, yeah, go
can I
ahead.
say
Sorry.
something with your
Yes,
permission?
I'm done now. I'm sorry.
I want to actually the article which is actually which would actually provide more concrete to what you are saying.
Mhm.
Female TikTokers, and this is from Business Insider India. Female TikToker users say they are deleting their dating apps and heading to Home Depot to find a husband.
You know what? I don't like this.
Search for
I
their
don't like
future husbands
you
at
know
Home
why
Depot.
you know why I don't like this? Because that was my
Why?
happy place. That was my happy place.
Home Depot.
Home
Now,
Depot.
just
One
like
time I got a bouquet of roses from a guy I was dating a long time ago. He literally got me a dozen red roses with $100 gift certificate to Home Depot in the middle of them. Those are the best flowers I've ever gotten in my entire
Sorry,
life.
I'm a Lowe's person myself.
Oh, you know what? Lowe's has better deals, but Home Depot's closer to me. It's convenient. I hate it. You know that Lowe's is owned by a black man? Not a lot of people know that.
Mm. Well, I have my eye on their chief diversity officer in my community. So
Anyway.
yeah, I'm gonna talk to that woman.
No, dear.
Yeah.
It's just all I
Well,
no, but
because they actually
sorry.
they actually cut the hours of their employees because they need to I don't know something per quarter
No,
or
I'm
whatever.
gonna tell you what's going
They,
on, why
and
they're
they
cutting.
won't, and they instead they pay this chief diversity officer in the HR department a
All right.
6-figure salary.
Let's talk this shit real quick,
Yeah.
right? There's no fucking recession, guys. There's no recession. It's not even happening. We had more of a higher rate of people spending than we've ever had in our entire ever period because of COVID, because of all the things that have been happening. And not only
uh,
let me just break it down before you get any input because this is a whole thing. So the government itself has been inflating because they have these contracts with big corporations. And we already saw that BlackRock and Black whatever is the main thing that owns a percentage of every single major corporation ever, anywhere, ever, all of them. I mean, this microphone, they own 10%. This camera, 10%. YouTube, 10%. Walmart, 10%. They literally own the majority vote in every major corporation. That's number one. So this contract that our government has with these big corporations also gave them a tax break if they made I think it was like 7 million or 13 million in the fiscal year. They were able to have a huge tax break where they didn't pay taxes. Corporations didn't pay taxes. And on top of that, the rise in cost per items, there's a small minority that comes from, I mean, not minority, there's a majority that comes from China, and where we started to have our tariffs, right? The tariff tax was being paid and the consumer had to pay them, except for Costco. That's why they keep living it up after every recession, because they eat up those costs and they don't put them on the consumer. But at the same time that the tariffs were raising the cost for goods for being shipped over here towards Americans, at that same time, corporations were rising the price on everything. This perfume rose, let's say this perfume rose 10% and it's sold at Macy's. Well, JCPenney is going to raise theirs at 12%. And now you have Nordstrom that's going to raise it at 15%. So now Macy's, who originally raised it to 10%, now raised it to 15% to match Nordstrom over there. That is what's happening with all of our goods. And this is all researchable. You can look it all up. It's from the corporations that are increasing the price of goods, not from the tariffs. It's increased to the severity where the cost of life is getting more difficult on people, right? So then we go into the layoffs. Why on earth would they lay the majority of people off? We're talking Amazon, we're talking Lowe's, we're talking, I mean, you see it on the news. Everyone's doing huge, massive layoffs. So why are they doing layoffs if they've never been more profitable as an incorporation that's making money off of consumers that have never been spending as much as we're spending now? Because the reason they're laying off is because we're headed into World War III, which by history standards always takes us out of some sort of economical crisis, right? Supposedly for a period of time, it boosts our economy. So if we're doing the layoffs in all of these places and these people can't even like live on their own and they're cohabitating or they're living with roommates or all these things, the only, and don't forget that the rise in marriage and cohabitation hasn't actually gone down. It's still at where it was. So all these people, these men that need to provide for their families, whether married or not, the most sane thing to do without an education, without an ability for a better job, is going to be signing up for the military for the world that we're preparing for. It's let's lay these people off and funnel them over here. And it's amazing because if you don't like actually look at these things, it's like, okay, the world is just crazy, but there's an actual reason for everything. Even with this stuff, if you have men and women against each other, you have a weak economy, you have a weak standard, it's real easy to turn it into a totalitarian communist country. Real easy. We're going to see how easy it is if things don't change, because the reality is this country was every rule constitutional we had was to prevent our government from being as massive as it is.
Our government's only as massive as it is because all these women with degrees made more and more jobs for themselves. Our government is predominantly women.
It's hand in hand. As the women continue to gain more and more control, they continue to also gain more control of the narrative. Not just that was already like, that's a seed planted. The narrative is just fully blown now. And like you said, these women want to control, they want to have women in every sector, but it's not just for the control of the narrative. The reality is, and I'm saying this, and it goes against everything I've worked for my entire life. I am 31 years old with the businesses that I have. If a man was doing my job, he would still do it better.
Mm-hmm.
So if we have more women in all of these positions and we get attacked and we can't fight because they can't do the job as good as a man.
So it sounds like we're going into the same spiel I hear in a few different sectors, but the authoritarians, the totalitarian regime is the feminist cult, and it's already here. They want to blame men in other countries. Fine, it's bullshit.
No, I feel like the feminist revolt, I think the movement and the women fighting it are just stupid pawns. I was a stupid pawn. And I say that because I really fundamentally listen, I grew up with my mom always saying, like, women need to stick together. We need to help each other, blah, 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 blah. And I'm now realizing, oh, shoot, that's actually not feminism. I thought that was feminism. I mean, you heard my mom. It's okay. What do you think feminism is? When you help women, when you love
Right.
them. That's
Right, right.
it. There was no equality. There was none of that. It was when you make sure that women are okay. They're not being messed around with. You protect them. You take care of them. You give them a skill to learn. That's what the foundation of what us women believed it to be. And when we thought, oh yeah, we want to be able to do that too. It was entitlement, because I learned here it's like men fought for the right to vote. It wasn't just given to them. So women came in after the men fought for the right to vote. Women came in and said, I deserve that too. I deserve that too. I'm not going to go to war. I'm not going to fight for it, but that's mine. So I see the feminist movement, I see it as a pawn in the big screen, in the grand scheme of things. I see it as like the major pawn that was moved. And that's why I think the women can be talked to. They're just delusional. But again, even the women on my panel, when you say the facts, and that's why the men harp on the facts, because that's the last line of defense the male species had. Like, look, bitch, the fact is right here. You are crazy.
Yes. Yes. Well, going back to this, these are the puppet masters. These are the so-called chess players. Like, if you want to say a feminist is a pawn, they're literally the pawn of the older feminists.
Right. And that
Like,
I will agree with. 100%. I will agree with that. Those ladies harp, like, earlier you said that it was intentional, and I was like, no, I don't think so. I thought about it, and watching this video, how they let her say all of that, and they egged her on, and then they pulled her back as if they're holding her back. I was like, Kamala has a kind of a point, man.
Yeah.
But
no, all this is intentional.
well, we also saw this with the Black Lives Matter movement. I was there protesting. I was there, like, I was.
You were?
100%.
They shamed and guilted you, and
no. We won't go that route. What I will say is that I grew up in the hood. I know what it's about. I know that you can tell me that they're not what's it called? Subjected, looked at differently, whatever. I've been there. I see it. It's a thing. I mean, during Christmas, right outside of my mom's house in Burbank, there was a black guy that was like losing his shit, apparently because he got a flat tire and he was on the phone with his mom. He was a fucking kid. And there were 5 PDs, 5 of them, 5 cop cars, 5 for a kid. I ran out like a crackhead and I was like, he's cool. He's my neighbor, blah, 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 blah. And I didn't leave because the kid looked fucking scared out of his mind. It's one child. And that's the thing that, like, people don't. So, like, anybody can tell me, like, oh, it's not blah, blah, blah. There is that still there. At the same time, though, Black people make up the majority of the population in the world.
Right.
So I'm not like in one side or the other. I just see, like I said from the beginning, I'm going to call something out if it's wrong. I'm going to call something out if it's right. We have never had more victims saying that they're not victims. I think in human history of America, you have more Black people saying, I am not, no one has been prejudiced against me. I'm not a victim. That was generations back. I don't feel any pain from it. I'm making 5 figures. I've heard immigrants talking about how they haven't been subjugated. How I heard an Asian guy saying, like, both my parents were immigrants and each of them makes $100K a year. Yeah, the American dream. I mean, I met a Russian guy that was saying, he's like, everyone's pissed off over here and I'm laughing because you guys at least get to play the game. In other countries, you don't even get to play the game. You're born that way. That's the way it is. And we've gotten so accustomed and entitled. We have gay people in marriages. We have trans people having surgeries. We have women having equality. What the fuck else do you want? Like, what else do you want? And I'm a Hispanic female minority. What's up? Like, come at me. It's the reality is like there is not enough victim to actually play this game anymore, and more people are waking up to it. I guarantee you the next 3 months you're going to have more Karen and Susans on the internet saying how they don't like women that are talking about feminism than you've ever heard before. I guarantee it. And I called this out 6 months ago. I said 6 months ago, you're going to hear more women that have been these figures saying how they don't like it anymore, how they don't want it anymore. Boom. Cardi B, what's the other one's name? Not Missy Elliott. Another one. Kim Possible? No, fuck. You know what I mean? All of them. The female rap game, these women are literally saying how they don't want to be sexualized anymore. We don't like it. I don't want it. I just want to be a mom. I just want to be a wife. Well, you just said that you robbed a man and you drugged him for all his money like 2 years ago. That doesn't go away now.
Right.
But I'm just saying, like, these figures that these women have been like utilizing. They're like, I want to be a housewife.
Right.
Oh God, it's nice to be back. I told you I've been doing a lot of research.
I can tell.
These are all facts. You guys can look them up yourselves. It's what I would like to harp more on, and I do think men need more women talking about this, isn't about how to get a girl. It's how to not pick that kind of girl. What are the red flags? Because you and I can see things that most men can't. So if I do something bad, you notice that, like, I've done.
I don't think any of these women deserve anything until they undo the crazy shit that they've already done. I care not for these reformed feminists unless they do something to fix what they participated in that got society to this point.
Okay, so I'm not talking about the feminists. I'm talking about the men, because I have experienced here in the not here in the manosphere, but in the manosphere, men falling for women crying.
Well, yeah.
That's 101. If you as a man are feeling a type of way because a woman is crying, whatever the reason, well, not whatever the reason, just take a moment to step back. Did she do something wrong and that's why she's crying? Or was she hurt somehow and that's why she's crying? Really assess that, because 9 times out of 10, when a woman is like, she messed up and you call her out on it, what does she do? I just feel overwhelmed and this is too much for me and you're an asshole. Like, if that's what you get, put that in your brain, you're probably being manipulated, especially if she starts to slander you. That's all. But stuff like that, that's what I was referring to. How to catch a crazy person. Because or if she's like right off of the bat, expect you to pay for everything. Red flag. If she's saying how her life isn't, like, all her friends are this way. If you give me a girlfriend or a girl and that woman says all of my friends have some sort of issue, that one's in rehab, that one is in the middle of a divorce, that one nobody likes her, that one, red flag. Like, there's a lot of things. I'm just saying, like, I've been on the other end where it's like I don't cry as much and people are like, Minka doesn't have feelings. I have feelings. I just cried to my mom and dad like a normal person.
Right? Cry to the people that actually you trust with your emotions.
Yeah.
Because we have a bunch of emotional sluts everywhere. It's like they put their emotions on perfect strangers and expect you to validate them, and it's not even your fucking business.
Well, and even then, I've told the guys that I'm friends with on here, like, I don't go to, when I'm feeling when I really have like an issue around here, I'm more comfortable going to you than a guy, because I can cry with you, I can be a feely with you, I can be vulnerable with you, because I know that that's not going to change our relationship.
Right.
I don't need men that aren't my husband or boyfriend or anything to console me. I can get that over here and be perfectly fine, and we don't have to have a discussion. Do you see how healthier that is? It avoids so much of a mess over there. Like,
how am I on consoling you?
I think you're nice. I mean, you just say, yeah. It's not like you're like, oh, you poor baby. You're like, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. That's it. Like, I'm not expecting you to like hold my hand. Like, it's, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's different too. It's like, especially like if I'm stressed out with life, I go to my dad.
Yeah.
Really, because we haven't had that much of a relationship for most of my life. We had a real rocky everything, and he wasn't present. He really wasn't. And I know, number one, I know that my dad's pretty level-headed most of the time, where he's just gonna like either give it to me straight, or he's just gonna hug me, or he's gonna be like, "It's okay, mija," or he'll make a joke and he'll be like, "It's okay, mija. We're all crazy. We're just burn down everything. Just shoot everyone. It's okay. Don't worry about it." Like, he makes me laugh.
That's fun.
But it's do you see what I mean? Even in my everyday interactions, I'm making a conscious decision on who I interact with, on what things, because I don't want to hurt that relationship. You know what I mean? I know that with my best friend Robin, I can go to her with anything, but I know that in her life right now, she has a tremendous amount that she is handling. Her mother was killed last year. And so when I say like she's handling, it's not like, oh, she's like dealing with fire. No, like she's got real issues that take precedence over any of my bullshit, right? It's that conscious love, that consciousness to understand what you can do to make your life happy and wholesome without making it other people's problems. If you're a woman and you're still making your issues everybody else's issues, like get it together.
Well, that's what the feminists are always doing all the time.
I know, but that's the problem. That's it. We need to make this problem no, it's not everybody's problem. It's not. Not everybody needs to be involved in this. How about you just deal with it in your little sector or your little group? If you don't win, then you fucking lost. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's just it's like I said, it's the trickery is unbelievable. And again, like my mom is really funny because she's most my parents. My dad's more like modern, but my mom is more prehistoric because she came from like
prehistoric.
Oh,
I like your mom.
Not on age, on traditional values.
I
Like
know.
you guys got to understand, my mom came from like pilgrim style Catholic living. Electricity is demonic. The Western world is evil. I mean, Allah Akbar, praise Allah kind of status, right? Except in Mexico. And not Allah, it's God. I mean, you know what I mean. So it's when I have these conversations with her, and she also tethered the line in her younger years, if you will. Like there's a lot of risky clothes that she's like, I remember in my 20s, I'd wear like a skirt and like a halter top up to here, just covering here, like right here. And I remember coming to visit her and she's like, oh, you look like a whore. You can't wear this. You can't. And I'm like, Mom, she's like, what? I'm like, these are your clothes. And she's like, no. And I'm like, these are your clothes, Mom, from the 90s. And she's like, oh, no. So again, this is a generational thing, except it got worse with my generation because we had all these whores and that wore nothing, and it was praised, where at least women like my mom were still shaming me when I was growing up. Right. That's the very big difference that we have now, where women my age are praising these young women for behaving this way. When it was my era, I still had women my age and my mom that were telling me, ooh, I don't know about all that. You know what I mean? Like, and it was just on clothing. So the rest of the stuff I never had issues with. I was never one of those like, let me sleep around. It's just the clothing that I actually very much what I've the same issues I've been having in the manosphere. But it is something to say that shame has disappeared and we need way more of it, but it'll become a little bit I just hope women are lonely and desperate enough to hear it. That's what all the research and everything that I've done in the last 3 weeks that I've been gone, I've deduced it to that one thing. I hope that women are desperate enough to hear it. Because I'm not worried about myself. I'm worried about my kids. Because if it continues, that's who it's jeopardizing. It's all these people and their instant gratification of right now. No one's thinking about it until you have children and you look in their eyes and you realize, oh, wow, the world is all this. They're not thinking about it. And women are supposed to be women in their 30s, biologically, you're supposed to have this mommy thing that kicks in where you want to have a baby. It's still there. I see bitches all left and right holding babies. You look at me, you bring a baby around me, look at the baby. Like, it's a biological thing. And somehow, like, we've harped on demonizing that.
A feminist did that, Minka.
Oh yeah, I know. I've experienced it where people are like, "Oh, you have baby fever?" Yeah, I'm 31. Am I not supposed to have baby fever? These are like the prime reproductive years. Literally, like my whole life, I've been told, "Don't get married until you're around 30. You've traveled, you've done your education, you've done this. When you have children, those children are your life, and it's not a bad thing. It's a glorious thing, and it's a cherished thing. It's an honorable thing." And now it's just somehow, they called it baby fever, like a bad thing. You got a fever? Sorry, I'm gonna shut the fuck up. Me and my fucking you gotta have like a buzzard on me to just like I think that's what we should do. We gotta get a buzzard for me. Shut up, Micah.
One of those flashing billboards that's like, shut your mouth.
Because I am a girl. I will go on forever and ever. Plus, I haven't streamed in 3 weeks, so I'm like a crackhead too. I'm like, hey guys, look what I learned.
So, what will you be doing going forward with your channel?
I'm putting up Craigslist advertisements, and for it's gonna be having a hard time finding a man. Are you lonely? Do you want a man? Come to my podcast. I'll give you pointers on what you're missing.
Oh, and you know what?
$20. It's a recession.
You should
and
maybe do them privately and then stream them later.
No,
instead of doing it live.
No, it has to be live because, again, like I said before, the men are able to say things that I won't even think about because it's their experience, right? Just like me with my clothing, I'm telling you, yeah, when I thought about it, sure, I'm going to get attention, but I feel damn good wearing this. Oh my God. It's not a deliberate, conscious thought, right? I'm not a man I'm not even looking at myself most of the time, right? So my experience in that is completely contradictory from a man that sees me and says, oh, that's an easy target, right? That's an easy prey. But they still have that experience that I didn't know about until I came here. And it's definitely something that, if I try and tell a woman, hey, men don't like that, and they're like, yes, they do. I get hit on, blah, 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 blah. Here's a man. What do you like? Okay, chat full of men. If you see a woman that's showing midriff or cleavage or all these things, what do you think? Do you think she's marriage material or do you think she's thought material? 1 for marriage, 2 for thought. There you go, lady. Argue with that. That's the power of having the men and women together, because I can't be a woman telling women what men want. I have to be a woman telling women what men want, but it's backed up by the men. It's confirmed by the men. It's okay. All these men do want this. That's what got me here. That's literally what it was like. All these men harping the same thing. And then I started talking to guys in my real life and asking them the same questions that was being asked in the chat the night before. And they would confirm it. And I'd be like, well then. So that's the power of, and the beauty of having the chat that I've thought about doing privately, but that's the missing piece that I need. Because that's the same thing that happened on girls' night. It's the same thing that happened to me. You can't argue with, this is what it is. Like I said earlier, the men holding on to the facts. It's like they had to. They didn't have. every other argument they're misogynistic or a terrorist. Well, here's the fact. Look at it.
Right.
So that's
Well, I hope it works.
it's chat answering too. Thank you. It's I'm excited. I'm really, 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 really excited because it was getting really, I mean, you can see on my last like 4 streams, I look depressed compared to how I am right now. To me, looking at myself, I was like, and it wasn't just I'm not taking care of myself, it's I'm losing hope. That's what it had to do with. And it's not on MGTOW, because MGTOW is a decision that you've made for your own peace and sanity, right? It was losing hope in the sense of like, it was just too negative. It was just too much of like, it's not going to work. No one likes it, blah, 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 blah. When in fact, like, I mean, people were talking about it and saying that the women didn't know anything and having all these harps. But when I watched it, that one woman saying, I get you, to a man giving his point across, that's a fucking win for me. And somehow that changed. So that's why I've been trying to re-strategize so I don't fall into that again. Because I can't, if I get sad, I'm not good. I'm just not all around. I'm just not. I'm not creative. I'm not excited. I'm not pretty. I'm not feminine. I'm like Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh. Okay.
Well,
I'm telling you, if you see my last streams, even like the debate, I'm like, okay.
yeah, I didn't watch the debate. I was there for like 5 minutes. I was like, this is just a bunch of
It was stupid.
noise.
A debate is an actual argument with a tangible like thing and pointing out points. That was just, I felt like I was arguing with a liberal. It was weird.
Yes.
Yeah. Good times though. That's the other thing.
Are you done getting involved in men's business?
No. No, it's because here it is. It's like if I come across someone that's a POS, I'm going to call it a POS. That's, you know what I mean? Like, I can't help it. Whether you're a man or a woman, I'm going to call it out because and it's not for any other reason than you got to, again, look at my story. If I came in, Black Pillars woke me up. I was in a Black Pill Discord with a bunch of incels. I know how desperate these guys are. They became genuinely, I like these guys. To me, they're my friends, whether they like me or not. I genuinely, my heart had a little thing that went boop, right? So when I see someone that's taking advantage of those people, and I know that doesn't work, and I know that that's all a fallacy, and I know that those are all lies, and I know not only is that the case, but on top of that, you're giving bad information that could potentially put someone in harm's way or make them even more fucking desperate with a terrible situation. I'm going to call it out. I will. That's not changing. But if it has to do with men telling men how to be and how to behave and how to be men and I'm not getting them. That's none of my business. I don't care. It's just calling out crap. That's all. That's all that I will do. Call out the crap. But I'm not going to like sit there and be like, you need to be more manly and I don't know how to do that. I think I'm pretty good at I do want to answer this really quick. Someone asked in the chat that I keep saying men are simple and he said like engineers and all these different things. How can that be simple? I'm not saying they're dumb. I'm saying they're simple. I'm saying if a man likes a woman, but he doesn't have his career in order, he's probably not going to settle down because that career is the number one important thing. And until he has that, she cannot be his priority. That's what I tell women all the time. It makes sense. And a lot of guys agree with it. I'm saying like, but that's simple. Whereas a woman needs to have her career, needs to be emotionally available, all of these things. Men are a lot simpler. If he likes you, he's going to say, I like you. If he doesn't like you, he probably won't say anything and he'll keep sleeping you for sex because you look like a hoe. If like you see what I mean? Like all these simple things, it doesn't mean he's stupid. It means he's simple. A woman could sleep with a man and tell him, I love you and all these things. And it was all for financial gain. Or she could marry him and be in love with him. And 10 years later, be like, you know what? This isn't the life that I wanted. I want a divorce. I don't want to stick it out. Come on, let's cut this thing. And then 5 years later, be like, I changed my mind. You were the best thing of my entire life. I'm telling you, men are way more simple than women. You guys are a little like, you guys get confused sometimes, but like compared to women, it's not even a comparable. You have a feminist. We just look at the video. It just simple does not mean stupid. It just means simple. Oh, God.
Wow.
That is so sad.
Yeah.
That is so, so sad.
How old do you think that girl is?
Not even 18.
You think?
Not even 18. I don't even think. Look at her fucking necklace, dude. I don't think she's even 18 years old. I can almost guarantee you she's not even 18 years old.
We're gonna stay together the rest of the day.
How would you say you're for women, but then
We're
tell
gonna
women
stay
she should
together.
get raped?
Shut the fuck up, bitch.
How would you?
Why are you antagonizing people? Why are you antagonizing
video
people?
evidence of
Why are you antagonizing people?
That is disgusting.
No, she's come with your elders. Come with your elders, please. We've been fighting for this for 50 years.
She's so young. I hope you guys have a good day.
I'm telling you. Does it say? Wait. That was in 2022?
Yeah.
Hello?
Breitbart uploaded it within this last week. I saved it
I want to see something.
7 days ago. I mean, I really don't give a shit about abortion laws, honestly. But just the dynamic between those two old hags and that young, brainwashed little feminist who is severely mentally ill. Severely. And has severe behavior problems.
That was, let me bring this window over here. Sorry, my dog's snoring in the background. Just getting well.
Hold on. I saw something I wanted to.
I saw Contriver came back. I feel if he had another question.
Yeah.
Okay. There it is. Oh, wow. There's a whole. She actually has. Do you want to hear her response?
Yeah. Who?
This is from Caroline Wharton, October 15, 2022, guest post. As a young female activist in the pro-life movement, I've been told a lot of things in my work for the rights to life. Relax, shut up, you're uneducated. That under chin is unflattering. Get a PhD in everything before daring to have an opinion on anything. After hearing these comments from abortion supporters over the years, it became evident to me that the abortion lobby profits off of the marginalization of women, born and preborn. If I had even given a shed of doubt left in my mind, now I understand more than ever that even the Women's March is not a safe place for pro-life women like me. I was reminded this last Saturday, Washington, D.C. Women's March, when I got separated from my Students for Life America SFLA group and was immediately targeted by the abortion lobby. I was holding two signs that made no one in their right mind should disagree with, one that advertised free and confidential pregnancy resources, and another that was simply a 3D ultrasound, yet I was surrounded by angry pro-abortion women who continuously harassed me. Wow, and it said, she's so pretty, why don't we just let her get raped and pregnant, forced to be a mother? That's what they said, she's so pretty. That's
That's what the feminists attack.
I think Susan B. Anthony, SBA, one of the women who first stood up for women's rights would have been appalled to see how women were treating other women that day. I was cursed at, both verbally and physically intimidated by women who claimed to be pro-women, as I told the pro-abortion women that the pro-life community cares for them and that we can help guide them towards healing from abortion-related trauma. They continue to spew hostility as alarming as this sounds. I was grounded in Jesus' peace, armored with love and truth of our message. Crap. Oh, wow.
Oh, she was treated so terribly by women. They said mean words to her.
Of course. Sexual assault is traumatizing, but abortion cannot ungrape a woman. It simply adds more violence to an already violent act. Two wrongs don't make a right, and a person in this situation needs love and care and support, not abortion. Wishing sexual violence on any form of violence on a person is cold-hearted and fake and cold-hearted take. I absolutely agree with that 110%. Despite the trial I endured while counter-protesting, this was a day I would never take back. The experience I gained was like no other, and the most vulnerable members of our species were thoroughly represented. It was my personal experience with hundreds of us standing for life across the country. The impact that I made alone can be multiplied by hundreds. Looking at our organization's entirely pro-life message is amplified by thousands daily. Each person that attended the Women's March was there for a reason, to change hearts and minds throughout their personalized message and movement. With as many branches and individualism is so much stronger together. This is the impact that we can have as activists. Planting even the smallest seeds of variety is a ripple effect and can extend far beyond our understanding. Don't let that go to waste. Love those who persecute you and defend the oppressed. We cannot and will not stop until the notion of oppression is vaporized. And that's really what all of this shit comes down to. What she is describing is what the feminist movement first was attracted to, right? That kindness, that love, that tolerance. It's not there. It's gone.
The suffragettes were
It was a facade.
terrorists.
I know we got played. Women, we got played. Like we talk about getting played by men.
I have another one.
Played. We got played.
I'm sorry, listen to this one.
Skills, but I can't use them because you're not dying enough yet for me to take care of you. My name is Dr. Layla Zahidi Spung, and I'm a high-risk obstetrician and abortion provider. All of the clinics in the state of Tennessee closed on August 25th when the complete ban went into effect. And I can tell you, when I heard that Roe had been overturned, I was immediately afraid for my patients, and I was immediately afraid for myself. And therefore, I knew that I was going to be put in a situation at some point, or was worried about being in a situation where I was going to have to put my own freedom and life at risk in order to take care of someone and make sure that they didn't die. And that is a terrifying place to be. And I want to be able to take care of as many patients as possible. And if I end up being charged with a felony, like I would have if I performed an abortion in the state of Tennessee, then I may not ever be able to practice medicine again. Not to mention I could go to jail. I am unable to provide care that is both evidence-based and saves lives. It's awful having to tell patients, I'm sorry, I have those skills, but I can't use them because you're not dying enough yet for me to take care of you. My name is Dr. Layla.
Evidence-based and saves lives. You see that shit?
The law right, but the law still, like the actual bill shows that if a doctor makes the argument for the person's life, they can still have the abortion. So that's none of this shit. Again, it's doing was, hey, if you're doing it just because you want to, it's not a good enough reason. That's all it did. Which in reality, all it does is puts responsibility of not getting pregnant.
Right.
Like, it to me, it's again like that you're gonna hear things from me that maybe the manosphere would not like per se, but I'm going based off of what I believe is correct and what is not correct. But the majority of it is aligned because it's facts. Like, again, she's saying that she can't because it's not close to death yet. Well, then you're probably the person's probably not close to death yet, because as a doctor you could make the argument. It's and if
She's
that and if that and if
fear mongering.
potentially, hypothetically, her senior wouldn't allow it, she can go to another hospital and try there, and go to another hospital and try there. But you can literally, like, it's like a deviated septum. I have a deviated septum. I've never had surgery. Don't need one. Don't care. But hypothetically, I could go to a doctor and argue that my insurance should cover it because it's a medical necessity for a deviated septum, a nose job. Hypothetically, I could do that. It's the same thing as an abortion. You can attest to your doctor that you need it. It's but at the foundation, why did you get pregnant? It's not like, and then they want to harp on, oh, not all women get pregnant, and the rape and the this and the that. That's a small, tiny percentage of the women that are getting the abortions. The rest of them, the majority of them, are women that are uneducated, irresponsible, 304s, or, add to the list, picking wrong partners, again, evading responsibility. It's just any which way you go about it. Again, oh God, it's so dumb.
She said abortion saves lives.
No, it doesn't actually. So here's the other part, the argument that I don't hear enough on the abortion thing. No, and this is a real statistic that nobody talks about. I don't know why nobody talks about this. If you look at the statistics with women that have mental health issues, you can see that the percentage of women that have an abortion have fucking meltdowns, full on. Like, they have to be 5150 because they're going to kill themselves. Like, and I'm not talking about plan B or just like taking a pill and like poop something out. I'm talking about like what they're arguing, having abortions at 10 weeks. Do you realize? I want everybody to fucking comprehend this, right? That's more than 3 months of missing a fucking period. That's number one. Sorry for my cursing, but I'm going to say this about cursing. And I've talked to, like, I've heard this was from a billionaire. If you curse with a purpose, it's okay. So that's my rule. So this is my stomach, right? This would be about 10 weeks.
You're making an argument. You're trying to make an argument like that to somebody like myself who didn't even know I was pregnant until I was 12 weeks because didn't even show.
But you can attest.
Yeah.
Okay, but you didn't show.
No. Okay,
so you're a fucking anomaly. But but most women would start showing, and most women would start feeling. That's morning. You've already started to have morning sickness. You've already started to have different body aches and feelings. Your breasts have already started to like increase because they're starting to produce milk and lactate. Not fully lactate, but they're getting tender because they're getting swollen to prepare for lactating later. You start getting the swelling, especially if you have small boobs. One of my girlfriends, when she first got pregnant, she just had like a big thing of ice right here. That's why I remember it so vividly. She was like, she was like freaking out, and she had a big thing of ice.
So retarded.
I know I am, but I'm just saying.
No, that ice thing is retarded.
But I'm just saying, like, all of everything that I've said, a woman feels.
Yeah, but there's a difference. Like, if you were not married, and you should be responsible for not conceiving. And
that's my point.
If you're gonna,
these women that are getting pregnant are irresponsible.
Exactly.
That's so, and you correlate with the mental health thing that they go through later. Like, this isn't some sort of like women and this. So when I did speech and debate in high school, I talked about human trafficking and actually the abortion thing. That's that's why I know a lot about it. And one of the biggest things is that they're not just like I said earlier, it's not just like a plan B or you go pee something out later. Like it's a traumatic experience in which these women are sat down. They see the ultrasound of how far along the fetus is developed. So there's that immediate connection because you're a woman. We're women, right? Then they're taken to another room where they're sometimes sedated, sometimes not fully sedated, and they can hear and they're aware for everything. So then they use a vacuum, a fucking vacuum,
Mm-hmm.
literally a vacuum.
Mm-hmm.
Like I saw the whole thing. It's a big vacuum with a big giant plastic container with a big plastic bag.
Mm-hmm.
They insert this, they dilate the woman's uterus, and then they
Mhm.
suction out. And they
Mhm.
can hear, the woman will then hear everything being suctioned out. And the woman will then hear if the doctor is saying, oh, I missed something, or oh, I didn't miss something. Oh, hold on, there's a little piece still there.
Mhm.
We're talking about a fetus this entire time
Mhm.
being vacuumed out of a woman.
Mhm.
And she's hearing this and hearing the doctors and hearing the nurses. And then they give her a couple of pills to not have intense cramps for the next couple of days. And that's it.
Mhm.
No, how are
Oh,
you?
And they volunteer for
And
that.
none of this stuff.
That's
None of
their
it.
choice.
And I want it, and I want most,
Choose to
right.
do that.
And what people don't understand is most of this stuff that I just explained is never explained to a woman when she's getting an abortion. And so when she leaves that abortion, she loses her fucking mind.
Okay. She
Like,
deserves it if she's going to literally kill a baby like that.
right.
Because
But these
all
women,
because she was irresponsible.
right. But if a woman, what my take on this is that,
Mhm.
okay, if women aren't being told this and they walk into it and they're talking about their experience after, and they're talking about their experience like going crazy after too,
Mhm.
then shouldn't we be telling women about this?
Yes.
That's what I was trying to harp on, is neither side of the pro or against is harping on this specific thing, and it could win so many. Like if we had billboards or like papers that showed all of these steps to a woman that was going to get an abortion, I guarantee you that number of women going through abortions would get lowered.
I feel like I remember a commercial when I was very young. I think it was a pro-life commercial because I remember a baby being on the screen. And it was talking about abortion. And it's like the baby opened its mouth like to scream or something. And I remember it being anti-abortion. I don't remember the whole
Right,
thing.
but that still doesn't give a clear, concise picture to the woman.
Oh, wait. You have to go into the depth on how it affects the woman, right?
Yes. Just like I said,
That's right, because all these crazy bitches are so damn narcissistic, they don't give a shit about anybody
well,
but themselves.
even if they're not narcissistic and they're
Mm,
just a dumb woman that made a mistake or whatever,
mm.
every human being worries about ourselves first. It's a human we see something scary, what do? We run. Sometimes we'll grab our kid, or we'll grab our husband, or we'll grab our wife, or we'll grab our car or dog.
Mothers usually don't.
But nonetheless, huh?
Mothers usually don't.
Right. But nonetheless, most people, I'm just saying where we are generally speaking in today's society.
Yeah.
Most people are like thinking about themselves. What am I going to eat today? What am I going to? So when you think on these subjects, why are we not putting ourselves in the position of, and by ourselves, I'm talking about myself. Why am I not talking about these things as a woman to women? I'm talking about these things to women and just translating it. It's like, no, we have to go to the root of it. The same thing with the whole, like, how are we going to get women to listen? I thought, what do women want? They don't want to be lonely. They don't want to be alone. They do secretly still believe in Cinderella stories and all that shit. They do want to be loved. They do want to be protected. They're just fucked up and pushing it away. It's the same thing with these things. It's if women that were carrying, because most women are not, when it comes to this, I'm not talking about relationships, but when it comes to this, I'm hoping that it's the opposite, and most women would not want to. They're just like, okay, this is a solution, and it is normalized, right?
Mm.
My hope is that if women really fully like understand what goes into this, that they'll be like, oh, maybe I'll make a video of it. That's a good idea.
Do that.
Yeah, that will be a good idea. Because it's my harp on bringing this isn't even so much. It's not really like, oh, the evil women aborting babies. It's my heart is with the women having to suffer that, and they don't even real. It's just like the feminist movement. They got bamboozled. You thought it was going to be easy. You thought you weren't going to have any issues. You thought, oh, I can get pregnant and have an abortion and it's fine. No, your life is forever changed. You will always remember that. That will be one of the most traumatic experiences of your entire life.
Oh yeah. Oh, I actually connected with an older woman. She had, was it 3 or 4? I'll just say 3 to be safe. 3 kids, 2 daughters and a son. Okay. Sent all her kids to university. Her 2 daughters became these career women, right?
Mm-hmm.
And her son ended up being gay. Guess how many grandchildren she's going to have?
How many?
0. Guess what she does every night? Drinks herself stupid, regretting the first aborted child that she had, because maybe that would have been the child that would have given her grandchildren.
Well, and you're here. Okay, so we never had, that's another thing. We've never had the studies that we have now.
Yeah.
Prior to like the last 2 years, we didn't have a study on, hey, how are these women doing that were these top CFOs and CEOs and these boss babes? We never had it until now. We have women that are in their 60s saying, I come home to an empty home and an empty house.
Mm-hmm.
There's no home. There's no children. There's no husband. There's not even a dog. I at least have a dog. I have a chance, guys. I have a window, and I got a chance to get married and have babies and all that shit. I got a chance. At 60 something, you don't have a chance anymore.
Yeah.
And that's and I hear it a lot from the older ladies now. It's empty. It's sad. That's again why I'm telling you guys, like these women that are in their boss babe and all that, and come recession, I'm telling you, the next 4 months, you're gonna hear a lot of women. I'm changing my ways. I was confused. I was messed up. Blah.
See,
blah, blah.
and my answer to that is, okay, what are you gonna do to undo the shit that you've been working on for the past couple of decades? Your participation in this bullshit has caused a lot of damage. What are you gonna do as an individual to help recorrect that? At least confess. Like that's where I want to see more of these crazy bitch confessions. Like it's not enough. That Dawn, what's her name? Sarah Dawn something or other. She had a panel of women on her. You should try to get on her panel. I don't think she'll. Sarah Davidson, I think. I don't. Or no, Sarah Dawn Moore. Sarah Dawn Moore. She had a panel of women on. And she's launching her dating, his and hers dating course next month. But yeah, she had these feminists like, oh my God, we're sorry, we don't want to be feminists anymore. But all the things I did in my 20s, I didn't want to do anymore. We really need you men. And I'm like, that's okay. That's words. Where's the action? Like, what are you gonna do to help recorrect what you helped fuck up in the first place?
Well, there's also different levels to this, because and this is the way that I'm seeing it, right? There's like the video. You have the women that are like the ringleaders and the puppeteers, right? Those are the ones I think that should be like held accountable. What the fuck are you doing? Now, what are you doing contrary? What marching are you doing now, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's also women, generally speaking, that would consider themselves feminists that weren't a part of that. And it's more of a mind change and a shift. Okay, well, where's the proof in the pudding, right? Arguably, one of the biggest issues with me is that that's what's being said, because my Instagram is, where's the proof in the pudding, right? I haven't posted pictures, but you will see the proof in the pudding moving forward with the kind of pictures that I have. Because that's another thing I've been thinking about, of like,
just not posting pictures. I see that as progress. I mean, because
I
a lot
haven't
of
been posting pictures,
I know.
but no, that's not progress to other people. For me, it's my Instagram. It's not anybody
Yeah.
else's, it's mine. So I'm gonna continue posting pictures because I like to
Mhm.
post pictures, but it's gonna be very different. I've never been I'll tell you the truth about my Instagram. Okay. I'm a fucking weirdo. So obviously I was picking bad, had a terrible relationship, broke off from that. I take full responsibility. I picked that. I'm not a victim. But when I left, I came up with the name Minka. Minka was already my family nickname. Some people call me that from whatever. And then I just made the Instagram and I blocked everybody that I knew and I just started over. And I was like, I don't want any of those people to ever find me, which was like my ex, those friends, anything like that. Um, and when I post pictures on Instagram, it was just pure thirst trap because I didn't have anything really that I was focused on or that I cared about. And I was partying and I was like going out dancing with girlfriends. I was living my best life. The Instagram has never been anything serious for me. It's always been like funny or trolling or attention seeking. And I've never shown that I work in marketing. I've never shown the kind of work that I do. I've never shown anything that I do, period. My podcast has I barely posted about it. Barely. So it's been like my pretend. And now it's time to like, okay, this is who I actually am. I'm not a dumbass. I'm not retarded. I'm not all these things that I showed you that I was. I actually have a business. Oh, you didn't know I had a business for the past 10 years? Here it is. It's so that's the thing with my Instagram. It's never been anything serious and it's never actually been a representation of me. Now there needs to be a representation of me. So that's where the shift is going to be. So,
Well, I see not posting a bunch of thoughty pictures to get a bunch of validation as progress.
Yep. It's I appreciate that. I appreciate that very much. Let me see here. I haven't seen my Instagram in a while.
You said that you only had an hour. It's been 2.
I know. I like you, good mother.
People always do that. I'm like, I'm trying to watch the time for people, but conversation keeps going. I don't like to.
We should probably cut it. I love how people keep calling me Monica. Pooping while standing. If Minka was 23 and not 31, I doubt she'd give one shit about what she's saying for now. But now she's concerned because at 31, time is short. I mean, no homo, but yeah, at 23, I was in school and I didn't even think about anything at all. I mean, I was sober, I was in college, finishing college, and I was working. So I wasn't, and having children wasn't necessarily a thing that was excited about. It's, hey, wait a little longer. And then, yeah, that's about it. So now I'm 31 and I have more experience to actually know these things. And at 23, I thought showing midriff and all that stuff was empowerment and it was freedom, just like I said earlier. That's how I know how to have these conversations because I understand where it came from. I'm not sitting here thinking like, oh, I was a victim and I lost my years. No, I'm glad that I have those years so I can communicate this to other women. And quite frankly, like I don't have a problem. I don't have a wall that I've hit and I don't have an issue with getting a man. It's just getting a man that I would want to raise my children. And there's actually really good men out here. So no problem here. And I'm doing it for my unborn children. So if you want me to stop, I can't.
Her eggs demand it.
No, my eggs are actually very fertile. You can go to the doctor and they will tell you how fertile you are. And my doctor calls me Fertile Myrtle because I'm Mexican. Really though, dude, I'm surprised my mom only has 2. I'm like, I told you that the other day. I was like, I'm kind of shocked because she has 7 brothers and sisters, and all 7 brothers and sisters had each of their own at least 5 children. My mom was the only one that had 2. I was like, fascinating. And also, traditional values are still very much alive and well in the Hispanic community. There was a little bit of that feisty like woman stuff coming up, and then it got shot down real quick in my country because the older women actually.
Right. They did their damn job.
Yeah, the older women were like, "Oh hell no!" Like,
right.
It's obviously I'm not talking about the trashy version of Mexicans, but if you like actually go to Mexico and you talk to the people and everything, like the older women, shame is alive and well in the Hispanic community.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing they said earlier from my mom. Like it's not shame as in like, oh, I wish you wouldn't dress like that. I'm telling you, I had a crop top shirt and a skirt, a long skirt, not a short one, a long one. And my mom called me a whore, and she was ashamed. That is shame. Not just, I really wish you wouldn't wear that. No, you look like a whore, and I'm disgusted.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right,
point
mom.
Blank. To the point.
And so I look at, and it's this is the coolest thing by far that I owe to the manosphere and the men around here for changing and shifting my perspective and waking me up. And you, did my mom go a little overboard sometimes? I'm sure she did. But when I look at the things, even in the way that she talked that used to hurt me so much, I'm so proud of my mom calling me that and talking to me that way and always giving it to me straight. Like really, like mama was kill. Yeah. And that's the thing that I was harping on in the Hispanic community. You don't, even in America, if you are dressing like a little thoughty thought and you're with a girl that's Hispanic and she's dressing like a thoughty thought and you go to her home, I guarantee you her mother's going to be shaming her for wearing what she's wearing. It hasn't gone away. Stop. Which I'm grateful for. Sí se puede. Por la raza. We should probably kill it though.
Yeah. I think I'm going to start up a new stream with the Texas A&M stuff. I think I want to keep this separate. Yeah. I'll change the title to this one. What shall we call it?
Hey, Caduceus had a real good title for his thing when he interviewed me. It was like, "Why is she here?" I was like, "That's the best bait I've ever seen."
I'll figure something out. Something trigger the feminists.
Trigger the feminist.
Yeah.
Just trigger the triggering the feminist.
Right.
Hashtag it. Triggering the feminist. Hashtag. No, I'm not. I'm not going to go there. I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to leave it alone. Ooh. Hi, pumpkin. At least yours barks. Doesn't anybody find it weird that my dog doesn't bark?
Yeah, I'm concerned for your dog.
Can you go woof? Woof. Woof.
He can hear you, so that's what he's barking at.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I'm egging it on.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done. All right. Well, I appreciate you having me on, Good Mother. We needed a catch up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Real bad.
Well, and I look forward to seeing what comes up on your channel if you can get any of those Craigslist thoughts.
$20, man. Hey, and if you guys can super chat me those $20, even better. Now you know what it'll go to.
Right.
Oh, man.
Contriver said, "Yeah, make it. Your dog is lazy."
I know.
It's funny. My Zach kind of looks like your dog.
Really?
Only he's brindle. Like all the spots where yours is gray, he's brindle.
Oh, Chocosita, that's your mama and a little baby. It's a little baby. See, I'm okay with my baby fever for a little bit, but we're gonna need a baby in here. Because this can only do so much, guys.
All right, we're gonna end it there, and I will be back to do Texas A&M stuff after I decompress for a minute after this.
I know. And salute to the chat as always. It's a good
Yeah.
time to be alive. Poor.
Good to see you guys, everybody. And I will see you in about maybe 20 minutes. All right, bullets. We'll see you later then.